Eric, and I'm in recovery.
Eric.
Okay, so I was blessed to be able to go through a program in Westover, and it had to do with this video, and they had a whole class to go along with it. So like I'm going to kind of try to do the best I can to explain what I learned through this. I was speaking to some of the new guys at our table last week, and I thought of this class when we were talking, and with some of the issues they're going through. So like when we go through life with our things that we accomplish and do in life, we have certain dopamine levels that we have. So like let's say you're doing housework, we have these feel-good chemicals and of accomplishment and things that we're doing in life. And let's say that they're at like a level of 30 or 40. And then we have things that like hanging out with your family, your kids and loved ones, doing family events, and let's say that these things can be around like about a 50 or 60. Then we got things that you do that are in the talent section, where let's say you play a musical instrument or you're doing sports of some kind, maybe working out, and these levels can be at about around a 70. So now when we get introduced to other things in life, like when you start to get into the area of marijuana or drinking, these levels are upwards of 100 and to 130. So you put these into your body and it's something that's like instantly gratified for you, and that you get all these dopamine levels that are higher than natural life things that we're doing. So when we get into the things like higher up, like your uppers and certain downers, we could be upwards, those numbers go upwards of like 500, okay, of that dopamine release being in your brain. And the way our brains work is like it's a status. We have a decision-making process in our brain. It's where either it's a fight or flight response, like what's easy to get or what can I avoid. So it's going to take the fastest route it knows to be able to get your happiness that you want to create inside your brain. So like, why would I ever want to go back to doing housework in my house, doing my talent of things that I love to do, and hanging out with my kids, doing anything like that at these lower levels of things, when I can get something upwards of 500 instantly right now? And so it's puts your brain in a position where we can't make the right choices that we want to make. Like when I heard the first step, and when I first heard the first step, that our lives, that we're powerless over our addiction, and that our lives have become unmanageable, I couldn't even grasp that until I kind of learned about this, because I didn't understand why I couldn't make those choices. So like it's, I didn't have a choice. This is why it's part of the reason why the FDA puts it as a disease for an addiction, is because the choice is lost for us to have. Now, so when you do those things, like let's say Bob Marley, when he plays an instrument on it, he put thousands of hours of work into playing his instruments and doing music, and he can grow his 70 of his talent phenomenally high. Same with like let's say Wayne Gretzky with when he's playing hockey, his feel-good chemicals of accomplishment is through the roof of what he's doing. You know, so like when we first get into recovery, this is you may feel bored, you may feel things like I can't accomplish these things. For myself, in my life, I look back on my records of my past and things I was doing, and I didn't understand why I didn't do it. And so, you know, doing the small things and giving yourself those small accomplishments, like getting up in the morning and making my bed, gives me a feel-good chemical. Like when I made all those wrong decisions and started doing those pathways in my brain, it made me think that everything that I was doing was the best way to get to my happiness. So I had to rewire the way that I thought, the way that I would do things, so those start off with like small goals in my life, to making my bed in the morning, working steps, going to meetings, working a good program, things like that, to make myself be able to repathway those things in my brain. And one of the biggest things that helped me to do this is my conscious contact with God. God gives us this way to be able to be forgiven for the decisions we make, and if we can keep in our brains and thinking of the right decisions to make and what would Jesus Christ do, you're going to feel good about what you're doing. Like you're going to feel accomplished in what you're doing, and you're going to be able to repathway a glorious life for yourself that doesn't need to have those fake chemicals and fake dopamine of something that's instantly gratified. Like those thousands of hours that put in by those professionals, those things were an earned gratification, something they put so much work into, and the amount of dopamine levels that you can get through something that you put that kind of work into and have that kind of passion for, there is no roots for that. And that's the same within Jesus Christ and everything that you do within the Lord and giving back in your life. So I just thought I'd share that today. It helped me out, and I hope it helps you. Thanks.